One of the key services in Azure right now is import and export because there's a lot of data center migrations going on and the need to just get lots of data into Azure or out of Azure via disks instead of, say, uploading everything over the internet or via express route that perhaps you don't want to saturate. And so there's a number of use cases for import export that you need to understand. One is for data migration to a cloud, speaks for itself. So, when you want to take that data from your data center, export it onto these hard drives, copy it onto these hard drives, and then ship it off to Microsoft, and then they will import it in, to Azure onto a blob store for you, so then you can, access it and move it around as you need to. Another use case is content distribution. Perhaps you've got a lot of data in Azure and you need to send it out to customer sites. That's one example there. Backing up, perhaps you're backing up your on-premises data to store it in Azure and you've just got a lot of data. Perhaps you want to archive, maybe things that you sent off on tape to another site once before, and you're going to bring all that back in and now maybe ship it off to Azure for, recovery in the future if you need to. And finally, data recovery, the reverse of that, perhaps I want to send that data back to recover it because I've been storing a lot of data in Azure, but now I've got a need to recover it. And so I could use the export service to get that data back to me. Now, there's a lot of components in the service itself. So one, we have the import-export service, which you access via the Azure portal, and that's used to track your data import, the upload jobs basically, or track the data export. These are the download jobs to you. The next service you've got is a command line tool, which is used for preparing disk drives that are shipped, copying data to your drive, encrypting data with BitLocker, generating drive journals, determining the number of drives. That's the WAI import tool that you will find, and that's the command line. You can just download that from Microsoft. There's version 1 of that for blob and version 2 for files. And finally, disk drives themselves. It supports HDDs and SSDs. There's import jobs, where you ship the drive containing your data, and with export jobs, you're essentially going to send Microsoft empty drives that they will put the data on and then send back to you. Now, the supported disks and all that information is available on this link that's on screen, and again, will be in the course material for you. Now, if we go a little bit further and look at the job workflow, which this comes from the Microsoft site that you can see the link to on the bottom left. If you think about this from beginning to end, you've got this creating phase, shipping phase, transferring, packaging, and completion phase. So creating, if we think about it this way, number one, you prepare the drives using the import export client tool and you encrypt them with BitLocker. Then you create a job in the Azure portal, and then you ship the drives off to the Azure data center in that shipping phase. And then the carrier delivers the drives to the data center. It's all tracked and everything. You'll see all that in the service itself. The hard drives are then processed. So this is the transferring phase now, where Microsoft is processing the drives. The data is copied from the hard drives to the specific storage account that's indicated. And then the hard drives are packaged for return shipping back to you. They packaged up, shipped to you, and you effectively have completed the service then. The export job, a little bit different because you're basically shipping the drives to Azure first, then they transfer the data to them and then ship them back to you. But that essentially, is the service as a whole. And just make sure you understand it, know that different drives are supported, know how to get that information, and you'll probably get a few questions on the exam around this, perhaps around the use cases or perhaps just knowing how the service itself works in the portal.